Hello, magical ones. Welcome to the Faerie Witch vlog. Yeah, I hope I had that right. I think I did. We are outside in the fairy garden today. Got my little birdie sounds going on, and I got my little fairy with the owl. Just thought I'd showcase one of my statues. So yeah, we are outside, as I said, and I welcome you to this new episode. The kitties are kind of meandering around me here. So we are outside and just trying to enjoy a little bit of fresh air, and I thought this would be a good episode to do outside because we're going to be talking about birds and the symbolism of birds within witchcraft and fairycraft magic. So I hope you'll find this an interesting episode and hopefully get some information out of it that you can use in your own practice. So the hummingbirds are kind of flittering around up here around me. I am going to feed the birds, the other birds. I've got some food here. So we're going to do that. And then we will start with the information. So I'm going to try to turn the camera, or maybe oh yeah, I can't take it off. I need to turn the camera. So, that's pretty hummingbird. Hello, pretty bird. Yeah. Wish I could get you on camera, but you'll probably fly away. Maybe I can turn it in time. Let's try. Well, flew away. Darn it. So I'm going to go ahead and keep turning. Hey, baby. What you doing? You playing with the cord? Yes, hands down. So the kitties are coming around. Whoops. Oh, there's Hummingbird. You're back. And it took off. As soon as it saw the cat, it took off. So I'm going to go ahead and keep turning. And I cannot see from the glare. Okay, you can see the bird feeder. So I'm going to go ahead and feed the birds. And I'm just using some wild bird seed. Alright, Sandy. Okay. Nope. Alrighty, so we've got some food in the container. And there's a bunch on the ground, but they can get that as they want it. Hi, Sandstone. What you doing? Okay, I'm going to turn the camera back around. Say hi, Sandstone. All right. Oh, okay. Whew. Made it. Alrighty, so let's see if I can put her back over here. Okay. So, as I was saying, let me just introduce myself, by the way. This is the Faerie Witch vlog, and I'm the Faerie Witch, and we welcome you, and you might notice I have my new glasses finally, so I can see. Hi, kitten. You little one, who are you? Huh? Is that you, Butter? Huh? Hi, Butter. One of the little kittens is down here. Oh, both of them are coming. Hiya, Butter. Hiya, Butter. Hello, baby. Hello. Hi, honey. Okay, so brother and sister are now in here with me with Sandstone. And Stony and Brownie are also in here, but they're sitting over on the other side. Anyway, so introductions. If you're brand new to the channel, welcome. If you're a subscriber or a previous viewer, welcome back. Salve. Benevento. Still doing my Italian. Still doing my Italian studies, so I'm still learning. But yeah, so today we are out here with the kitties trying to talk about birds. And I am a fairycraft magic practitioner. I'm an artist. I'm a knitter. I'm a little bit of a gardener, a little bit of a baker. So we try to mix all that in with my fairyology studies, which I am certified in. And I am a certified cat trainer. And so we do a lot in regards to animal welfare and talking about kitties mainly, but I do branch out. So, yeah. So today we are talking about birds. Okay, so birds are very important in witchcraft, but they're also very important in fairycraft magic, which is kind of a branch of witchcraft, if you want to call it that. I think for me, my practice encompasses witchcraft, Wicca, which are two different things. They kind of run alongside each other, but they're two different things, like two lanes on a highway. You got that line between them, but yet they're running in the same direction. So, yeah, I kind of combine those two things. And so for me, fairycraft magic is very much about working with the elements. It's working with nature. It's working with the fairies specifically. And it's not a religion. It's a way of life. It's a process. It's it's a way to connect, like I say, to nature, to something higher. But we give offerings to the fairies, but in the same time, it's not a worshiping kind of way. It's not religious. It's more routine way to connect. And it's about making yourself better, making other people and other situations better. It's all about positivity. So in fairycraft magic especially, and that's what I really focus on. Excuse me. Birds are very important. Birds represent different things, and I'm going to give you a list. So feel free to grab a pad of paper and a pen and start writing this down, because if you want to start connecting with nature and the birds especially, you might want this list, because it lists, I'm going to give you a bunch of them, what the birds represent, and how you can use them in your practice, which is kind of the same thing. And we want to talk about, focusing on that aspect, because birds, like any other animal, especially in magic, can really be like a power push. It gives more oomph. It gives packs more wallop. It's just, it's just a way to enhance your practice or enhance the spell you're working on, and it can help you. So working with any animal pretty much can do that. But for birds, anyway, keep in mind, fairies can some of them can shapeshift into a bird. So you're looking at a blue jay, but that may not be really a blue jay. So be nice to it. It could be a fairy in disguise, either because they are just wanting to observe, watch what you're doing and watch the environment around them, or it could be that they're using it to disguise themselves to hide from something, to escape from some kind of situation, or maybe somebody else coming at them. It's a defense mechanism, this kind of thing. It could also be somebody that they've transformed into a bird, because there's folklore and there's stories throughout the centuries where fairies, got pissed off at someone, a guy or a girl or something, and they can transform them into an animal. They may pick the form of a bird. Now, oftentimes they often do pick swans. And I have my little statue here. Swans are very potent. Swans are very important, and I will mention them in more detail. But yeah, we often think of the swan in relation to fairy tales, as well as tales like the Greek gods. Supposedly, the god of Zeus in Greek myth could turn into, I think, a swan, or he turned a couple of people into swans. It happens, and swans symbolize beauty, love, courage, fairy tales, transformation. So again, they're important to the fairy world. But also too, like I say, the birds can actually act as transportation, because keep in mind, not every fairy has wings. In fact, a lot of them don't. In folklore and all that, and historical fact, many fairies don't have wings. The wings are actually kind of a man-made creation, for some of them. And that started way back with the Victorian times, and it was with the theaters. And the theaters were putting on plays and stuff, and they wanted the audience to be able to recognize, a mythical being over the human being in the story. So the costumer actually came up with the idea of putting wings on them so that the audience could recognize easily and quickly who was who. But there are fairies that do have wings, and we often think of pixies having them. You might think of more of the traditional ones. Of course, our cartoon ones, the ones in movies and novels, a lot of them have wings. And we've kind of come to the fact that we just automatically think, fairy, wings, fairies, wings. But not all of them had them. So, in order to get around, they either have to walk, run, or they fly with help. So they might ride an animal. They might ride a squirrel or a chipmunk, or sit on the back of a dog who doesn't know they're there if they're small enough. But generally they'll pick birds because they can just fly from place to place and may not be seen or discovered by us or anything else on the ground. They can just do what they need to do. So oftentimes birds are transportation for the fairies. So again, there's something else important. And our little hummingbird is back. He's so cute, but I can't turn the camera because he'll take off. Anyway, so we are going to get into this here. And I have a bunch of notes that I took. I actually went through some of my books, and I went through a couple of online sites and got some information, so I wanted to help you as well as myself to remind myself what's what and what goes where, and how things are how the birds are related. So, let's see, let me check my notes here. Again, too, in witchcraft, birds often represent or symbolize uh, um, omens. They can be messengers, where they carry messages around, either being spiritually or physically. And they can also be a witch's familiar. Now, familiars are animals that the witches can work with. That helps them give them more power, or it might help them. Oh, gosh, there's different ways familiars can help them, and it just went right out of my head. But they're aids, they're helpers in one way or another to a witch. So again, check out some books on magic, animal magic, and familiars if you really want to get into that. But yeah, you can totally have an animal spirit with you or an actual physical animal, and that animal helps you, gives you more strength, might help you with getting somewhere or doing something, whatever. But again, the animal is a living, thinking being, feeling, and it has power of its own. It can lend you that power. And even a spiritual familiar can help you with that from astral plane. So again, it gets into animal magic. But the birds, like I say, they're powerful, they're messengers, and there's different things that they can do. Like I said, for fairies, they can be their transportation. And one really good animated movie that you might want to check out if you haven't is called Epic, EPIC. And that one, again, it's never actually stated that the little beings are fairies. It's never actually said, but that's what they are. And none of them have wings. I don't think any of them had wings. And so, again, they have to rely on birds. The naughty types, the bad types in the movie, they actually travel on bugs. They're like beetles or scarabs or something, I forget. And they've got wings of some sort. So the naughty ones in the movie actually ride insects. Whereas the more fairies, they're riding the birds. So again, it's transportation a lot of times. Or they are transformed into a bird. Okay, so always be nice to your wild birds. Bird feathers. Let's get into that. Bird feathers are very powerful. Bird feathers. Bird feathers are an excellent symbol of the element of air. So if you want to do a spell or you're doing a ritual where you need a symbol to represent the air, you can't go wrong with a feather of any kind, but bird especially. And don't harm a bird to get a feather. Like I say, you can walk your environment. You can go into the parks. You can just walk down the street. We get them sometimes in our back garden here, and you'll find them laying down on the ground. So if you find a bird feather, you can go ahead and take it and use it. Don't harm an animal to get what you need, okay? Please don't do that. Because it won't work anyway, and it's just detrimental to the animal, and you don't want to be an animal abuser, do you? So don't do that. But if you find one, or you can purchase one from a store or whatever, that's, do what you need to do. But bird feathers are very important. They have power, and it's great for representing air, as I said. Another thing is they also sometimes are the symbol of, or can lead you to a gateway to fairyland. That is kind of a myth, but it can happen. Like I say, birds can be messengers. So the bird can come to you and lead you away from where you need to go, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. But they can, be road maps, like a road sign. Go this way, and it's up to you to follow it or not. But again, that is one purpose that they do in magic. You can use the feathers, as I said, as charms. You can use them as talismans. You can put them in your smudge, your smudge sticks for cleansing and all that. You can use all those. You could burn them, in your candle magic. You can use them as a fetish. You can make them into a wand. You can make your fairy wand and wrap the feather around it, that kind of thing. Those are all ways you can use bird feathers. So it's always great to have some if you can. Now, the bird's eggs. This is something that I'm glad I researched because I never heard this before. But the egg, any kind of egg actually, you could take one out of your refrigerator. The egg actually represents all 4 of the elements. Now, I read that on the site and I was like, That is so new. I've never heard that. That was amazing. It was great because the white part of the egg, which is the shell, the white of the egg and the inside, if you hard boiled it, I'm watching a kitten. The white of the egg actually symbolizes water. So there's your one element. And try not to sneeze. Oh, excuse me. Weeds in the air. Sorry. Ah, okay. So the white represents water. The yolk in the inside, the yellow yolk in the inside represents fire. So there's your second element. The inner membrane on the inside of the egg, which is usually like the what they call the egg white, is I just forgot. Air. Okay, so that represents air. Okay, so that's 3. The fourth one is the shell itself. The shell represents earth. So there you go. Earth, air, fire, and water. All 4 elements, okay? So the egg is actually wonderful. And I never thought of that. Didn't know about it. So I thought that was really cool. I want to pass that on to you. Feather colors. Okay, being an artist, being a knitter, we deal with color a lot. And color means a lot, especially with my candle magic. I use not just a candle, but you got to get the right color. The red is for this, black is for that, white is for this. You get the point. So again, the same thing with bird feathers. Okay, so here's your list. You're writing this down. Here's your first part. Black represents bad luck, or it could be a warning. Brown represents home, hearth, grounding, friendship. Gray is for peace, tranquility, peace. Black and white, if you have a combination of black and white, it would represent averting trouble, or change is coming. Straight white, just white, represents faith and hope, angels, angelic, realms. Yellow is for success and that you're on the right path. Pink, love, of course. Blue is for spiritual awakening and inspiration. So that's a good one for, you want to get inspired to do a project or inspired to come up with an idea. Blue is good. Red is good fortune and passion, of course. Red's often for passion, love, lust, that kind of thing. Green is for healing, health, and prosperity, of course, too. So that's an obvious one. But again, those are some of the essential colors that you need for your bird magic. Now, there was types of birds. Okay, we're going to get into types of birds. Make sure I got everything out there. Okay. Yeah. Hi, Stony. Coming by me. Okay, and this, I want to make sure I tell you this. I keep leaving this here so I don't forget it. That's another list. Okay, so here is the birds. Sit back, start writing, because this one, it's not going to be super long, but I definitely want to cover as many of the top thought ones. The main birds that when you think of birds, these are the species you might think of, or the type you might think of right away. And how can you use them in your magic? So here we go. Owl. Okay. The owl. All right. The owl represents, obviously, learning, wisdom, intuition. And I'm going to get the list here. Let me move it so I can actually read it. I want to make sure the microphone can pick me up. So let me move everything here. Okay, so intuition, death, psychic ability, transformation, moon magic, dreams, unmasking, and it also represents the Greek goddess Athena. She was often associated with owls. Number 2, crow. Crow is very important in witchcraft and in fairy magic, and I'm going to tell you why. First of all, oftentimes in Celtic stories and folklore, fairies would transform either into or be transformed into crows. And it's also considered bad luck to harm a crow. Hi, Sandstone. Don't get on the computer. You're not a crow. You're a kitty. And you're going to lay down right there. You can lay down right there. Okay, now I have a cat on the table and not much room. And I got a kitten down here who wants to get up here too. Oh, brother. You guys are clowns. Okay, this is not the kitty list. This is the bird list. All right, so crows. Wisdom, knowledge, letting go of negativity, mystery, creation, destruction, hidden realms and protection. And like I say, again, it's often in fairy tales that you'll see a crow. And so treat them well. And crows, let me tell you a little bit about biology here. For a crow, I noticed that crows and ravens look a lot alike. Now, experts on birds can probably argue with me at some point, but I have seen a crow. I've seen a specimen of a crow and a specimen of a raven in a museum, actually. They had them stuffed. And I tell you, both of them looked so much alike because they're all solid black. They're both beautiful, but I noticed the raven is bigger. I mean, physically taller and a little bit more girth to it. Whereas the crow seems to be more of a skinnier version. But they're very close. They look very similar to each other. But again, you see a crow, be nice to it, because you don't know what it is. It could be a fairy, could be transformed, and someone transformed into a crow. Either way, be nice. Okay, robins. Robin birds are so pretty. They're often like brown with red, I think, on the chest, maybe. Again, I'm not a bird expert, and I don't even have a bird book anymore. I used to. But so I can't show you pictures, but please look them up. Robins mean or represent bringing new projects and new beginnings. Hummingbird. Hummingbird's one of my favorites. Joy, playfulness, love, the heart chakra. And again, hummingbirds are kind of associated with fairies, usually as, transportation, or they could, like I say, they could, be transformed into one so that they can keep an eye on what's going on, that kind of thing. So again, hummingbirds are pretty cool, and they're so pretty. They're very small. Look up watch a documentary on hummingbirds if you're interested. They're so pretty, and you can use pictures of them, representations of them, with your fairy magic, and sometimes I'll do that. And it's just they're just so pretty and cute and inspiring. I got those long needle noses, that kind of thing. And like I say, we feed them here with a mixture of sugar water, just in a hummingbird feeder that you purchase. And it works. They like them. They come here, and, we don't get flocks and flocks of them. Some people do, depending on where you live. But we do get some, and so it's nice to hear. And their wings move so fast. It's like a buzzing sound. You hear this buzzing sound. It was like a swarm of bees, but it's not. It's the bird, But their wings are moving so quick, and it's right here. You can hear it. So again, they've got that sound to them. Okay, back to the list. Next one is eagle. The eagle represents large doses of energy, peace, happiness, protection, power, strength, freedom, swiftness, courage. Number 5 is hawk. They represent vision, focusing, fire element, past lives, and being observant. The magpie represents magic, divination, wisdom, change is coming, and omens and prophecies. The pigeon. Now, a pigeon is a common bird, and Matthew calls it a trash bird. I don't agree with that, but yeah. And one of my dogs, who no longer is with us, years ago, she used to like watching and playing with the pigeons. She just had a thing when we go on vacation, and she just liked watching them. She'd sit in the camper and look down and watch them walking around the camper, in the little parking spot. Or we'd go on the beach and she'd trace them. She'd chase the pigeons around. She just liked them. She didn't hurt them. She just liked them. Anyway, pigeons are pretty common. So pigeons represent bringing peace, love, and communication. Again, you hear the messenger pigeon, and those are the trained birds that can carry messages, paper messages. Again, that makes sense. Communication. Okay, blackbirds. Blackbirds is a good one I didn't know about. I'll have to start using that one. Blackbird represents or symbolizes poetry, inspiration, music, and meditation. Four things that I really like, so there we go. Parrot. Parrots, as beautiful as they are, and can live for years and years and years, and can be as noisy as H and very dirty, but they're so beautiful. Parrots actually are a representation of imitation, mockery, and repetition. So I could see you using that one for if you're doing a spell and you need to do it over and over again, then have the parrot image. That might be kind of cool to add some more power to that. Okay, next one is the swan, which I've already started to talk about. Now, the swan, the white ones, okay? There's white and there's black. The white ones represent purification, beauty, cleansing, dreams, positive energy, fairies, the water element, grace and serenity, peace, transformation, and love. The black swan represents dispelling negative energy. Okay. All right. Another bird that's very good for fairycraft magic is the peacock. And the peacock, being so big and so beautiful, and all the feathers when they open, the males open all their feathers and have that big, huge plume of, they're blue and green and maybe a little gold in there, yellow. Look them up. If you haven't seen a peacock, look it up because it's so beautiful. And if you want to see them in person, go to the LA County Arboretum in Arcadia here in California once they reopen. I understand right now they're closed due to all the fire damage. But the Arboretum itself is okay, thank heaven. They just had a lot of the wind did a lot of damage. So right now they're closed. As of today, I looked it up. But anyway, that is a great place to actually see real peacocks, and they're roaming around the Arboretum, and you can walk right up to them as long as they don't charge you. But they can, and I don't mean money. I mean the birds will actually come running at you, but most of the time they don't. They're used to the visitors, and so they're just kind of like, okay, more people, whatever. But it's a great place to see them in person. But anyway, the peacock represents prosperity, fortune, good luck, beauty, and confidence. And that's a good one, too, because you can tell when the peacocks, especially the males, they walk along and, they're just, we're doing our thing. Don't worry about it, Okay, raven. Ravens are good for witchcraft, especially from what I've been told. And you do see the ravens a lot. Like I say, raven and crows to me look very similar, except the raven is bigger. They're taller, wider, and they're noisy. But they are so pretty. I love ravens. And ravens represent prophecy, wisdom, a witch's familiar, the Morrigan, Apollo's messenger, the Greek god Apollo, shape-shifting, ceremonial magic, healing magic, and being a messenger of spirits. So again, the raven seems to be often associated with Wicca and witchcraft, from what I've been told, from what I've seen. And so again, that's a good bird to have a representation of. And you see a lot of crows and ravens in Halloween decorations, those blackbirds. So that's one way if you wanted to buy something, you wanted to get a statue or get one of those, the flocked birds around Halloween time. And, again, there's your, you got channeling that bird spirit. Okay, there's a few more. Let's get through. The dove represents peace, innocence, chastity, and spirit contacting. The blue jay. Blue jay represents courage, could be a warning, eloquence, and divination. The crane. Okay, the cranes are very important in Chinese and Japanese history and are represented a lot in their artwork and their crafting. They're used as symbols of long life and good fortune. That's why. In magic, also, they represent intelligence, discipline, secrets, magic, and astral travel. Okay, falcon. The falcon is important in Egyptian history, mainly because the Egyptian god Horus was always depicted as a man with the head of a falcon. Okay. And it represents magic, astral travel, healing, and help for a soul to transition from one plane to another. Sister, what are you doing? Quit chewing your foot. Darn kitty. Okay, next thing is the nightingale. The nightingale represents moon magic, and that's one I need to start adapting or using in mine. Also represents inspiration, so again, I need to start using the nightingale. And using talents with joy, so again, crafting, singing, music, whatever you may be doing as your art form. Again, working with it and being joyful, that's you need the nightingale. Ostrich. Ostriches, they represent spiritual truth, exorcisms, protection from spirits. So again, that's a feather you need for those kinds of spells. Quail, it represents good luck, courage, and victory. Yay! Never would have thought of that. I never would have thought those little birds, the little thing on the head and the little, they're fairly small, Unfortunately, there's still quail hunting, which I don't agree with. But yeah, I never thought that they have magical purpose, but they do. Okay, another good one is the seagull. This one's good if you're into oceanography, water magic. Seagulls represent spiritual messengers, communication with deities. Sparrow is the next one. Represents love, desire, fertility, pregnancy, and bringing love to you. So love spells and birth, those two are good with the sparrow. Next one is the little wren, W-R-E-N. Wrens represent prophecy, God's messenger, live life to the fullest, and protection. Woodpecker. Woodpecker is the warning of trouble. It represents good luck and prophecy. And the last one I have on the list is the vulture. And the vulture is representative of the cycle of death and rebirth and prophecy. So there's some of them to get you started on your path of working with birds. So I hope you find that interesting. Like I say, some of those I didn't know were even on the list for magic, and there they are. It's pretty cool. So some of them, like I say, I need to start working with is the nightingale. Probably the raven, the nightingale, the blackbird. I need to use those a little bit more. So that's my goal, to get myself a little bird, or maybe I can just do like a little painting, or if I happen to find one in a magazine or something I could clip out, that kind of thing. So yeah. Okay, so that is some of the things that you can use birds for in your magic, whether it's witchcraft, Wicca, or fairycraft magic. And I'm going to give you a list here too. I found this interesting off a Facebook page, and it's all about feeding the wild birds. Now, as you saw me in the opening, I fed the seeds that I had store bought, and it's just wild bird food. But this is a list, so this is actually going to come in handy for me because I can't always afford to buy bird food, even from the dollar store when they have it. So this is something good you can use. So these are some things that we can actually make at home from our grocery that are usually pretty safe for birds. And right now, with it still being winter, this is a good time to aid the birds because not a lot's growing. They need food, they need sustenance. So don't be afraid to leave out water and give them some food. So here's a short list of items that you can make or get from your grocery to give your birds. So you want uncooked oats. This is uncooked. It was specific. Raw sunflower seeds. You can use soaked in water dog kibble or cat kibble, or you can give them some dry or give them some canned cat or canned dog food. You can leave that out for them as well. Fresh coconut in the shell. I've never done that, but maybe you're more familiar. And the suet blocks. Now the suet, S-U-E-T, they're bird seed you can purchase from the stores that look like square blocks and they're all packed. It's like they must use some kind of food agent or something that actually gets them stuck together. And you can either hang them up loose or you can buy little, they're like little square netted boxes that those bird blocks can fit in. You slip them in and then it hangs and you can hang it outside and then they can fly onto the cage part and they can peck out the food. So that is something else. But again, that's not something you can really make unless you know how. Now I do know there's a podcaster that I watch occasionally. She may have done an episode because it suddenly came to my memory. I think she might have made one, but it wasn't in the form of a block. She did a different shape, and I forget how she made them. Maybe in another episode if I can find it again. That way I can credit her with it. If it's the one I'm thinking of. Anyway, I might mention that on another episode because I didn't think about it for this. But anyway, so there's a little bit of things that you can use. Oh, I'm sorry. Raw peanuts or walnuts, and it says a baked potato. I'm assuming that's cooked potato. I'm not sure. It just said baked potato, so to me, that means cooked. I'm not sure on that one. But anyway, that was on the list. And cooked brown rice. This one says cooked, not uncooked. Cooked brown rice is another one. I think I got it. So yeah. So that is the list of things you can do to make your own bird food if you need to. So I definitely wanted to mention that. And let's see, what else have I got? I think I got kitties everywhere. I think I'll put that there. Okay. Yeah. So I think that was my list. So geez, I hope that, is informative. I hope you found that, useful. And again, you can use it in your magical practice and it's for the birds here in your garden. So, feel free to do this kind of thing and help out because it's a way of connecting to nature. It's a way of pleasing the fairies because keep in mind they could be in the form of the bird or they just like the fact that you're taking care of nature. Now, not every fairy likes nature. Not every fairy likes animals either. Not every fairy is going to be kind to an animal, but by your showing your care and that you want to take part and that you're trying to help in your way, it helps the fairies go, okay, this one might be worth, worthy of our help if they ever ask for it, that kind of thing. So again, it's kitties are fighting over there. Again, it's like, being in touch with nature, and it's getting a way of talking to the fairies. It's a way of connecting with the fairies. And so, it serves you to be nice to the birds. And so I hope that this helps. I'm getting distracted because the cats are, I can't see them, but I know they're fighting over there. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, so I thank you so much for watching this. And again, we sprinkled a little fairy dust. We conjured up a nice, good list for you. And I hope that you'll be able to use some of this information in your practice, even if you're a beginner or if you've been at it a while. So either way, thank you so much for watching. The kitties and I thank you for tuning in. And we hope that you have a fairy day. And we will see you in the next one. So please check out the rest of the channel. Please subscribe if you haven't. And if you'd like to help us stay alive and keep going, I'd appreciate it. Just click on the PayPal link that's listed below the channel name. And I thank you. I really do. So take care of yourselves, everyone, especially in this time with all this, all the fire issues. If any of you have been suffering with that or worried about people, I'm right there with you because I have people down there I'm worried about. So I get it. And I just, we're hoping that fairies give good luck and start rebuilding that area down there, and that the fairies of the environment down there will start working on saving nature and getting them, bringing life back to what's been burned. So crossing fingers for all of you. So take care. Thank you so much. We'll see you in the next one. Knock on wood. Arrivederci.